Is it? Can hear me? Type something. Please stand by. Should be. Sorry. Okay, everyone, what's up? Movie Buff Channel here. I'm the head of a YouTube channel that I run called Movie Buff Channel. My name is Connor Jameson. Today, what we are going to talk about is The Walking Dead. I don't know how many people are online, and there's a bit of a delay, so I'm just gonna start. So here's what we are going to start out for the day. Today, hello Jason. Yes, thank you, you can hear me. Today we are going to start out, we're going to talk about The Walking Dead, as I've said already. I don't know why I'm saying it again. I'm excited. And this is my plan. First, I'm going to go over everything that has happened so far in the season. Then I'll answer some questions. If you have any, I'll give an insight in what I think is going to happen. Personally, you know, what I feel should happen, what I feel is actually going to happen, because a lot of those times, those things are very different because they like to talk about different things. Okay, so let's start out on the first episode. The first episode, Rick is chilling with his friend Shane. I'm going to go through this fast, maybe 5 minutes. Rick is chilling with his friend Shane. They're talking about women and like lights, you know, just friend stuff. And then they get a call in. They got to go to a police shootout, and Rick ends up getting shot. Okay, flash forward. He wakes up in a hospital from a coma, as you can guess. He wakes up from a coma. He falls down, asks for a nurse, and he realizes, you know, the zombie apocalypse happened. So then he walks out. He heads to this guy Morgan's house, who knocks him in the head. Then they learn, because he thinks he's a zombie, and then, oh no, it's not a zombie. And so anyway, Rick goes into their home, and Rick eventually learns what happens. They tell them. Rick eventually has to depart from them to go find his family. He finds his family in a camp outside of Atlanta. So he finds them. They do. Then they have to go on a rescue mission, actually. They need to go on a rescue mission to save a guy named Merle, who, in the beginning, when Rick was in Atlanta, he got saved by a guy, Glenn. So they need to go back because Rick handcuffed Merle to a plumbing, I guess you would call it. And so now they got to go back to find Merle. Merle's hand is not there. His hand is cut off. There's just a hand. So, oh no, where did he go? So basically what happens is they stay, you know, a lot of tension rises. One of the group actually gets bitten, and they can't, then that's when you kind of figure out the business with, if you get bit, you get turned into a zombie. They already knew it, but they kind of saw the process of, like, you get a fever, and sometimes it goes slower than others, sometimes it goes faster than others. So anyway, so then they actually, and there's tension between Shane and Rick, because Shane actually, when they thought Rick was dead, Shane was hanging out with, you know, dating or, you know, doing that kind of stuff with Rick's wife. So, you know, that, and then when Rick comes back, Shane's jealous, so of course, you know, there's gonna be tension there, as there would be. So that all starts to kind of come up, and there's a lot of tension between them. You can tell Shane's becoming much, not evil exactly, but much darker. And eventually they have to go to a farm where they meet Merle, no, not Merle, Dale and his family, Maggie and all that family. They stay there for a while. It goes to shit, pardon my French. And then they have to go to a prison. They go, and I'm going much faster because I want to get into talking to you guys. They go to a prison, which is not fun at all. It's actually very good there, but then they figure out there's a guy named the Governor, who kidnaps some of the group members. He finds Andrea and a girl named Michonne, and then they lead him to the group. And then there's all this there's blowing up, there's fighting. The governor eventually comes in there. He kills Dale. Spoiler alert, by the way. If you're watching this, you've probably seen the show. He kills Dale, and right now I'll go over all the characters that have died in when I'm done this, but I'm not going to talk about that now. So then everyone's spread out among the prison, and so since they're all among the not among the prison, out of the prison, so they're all spread out. And eventually, they start to find each other. The first group is like Rick and his son Carl, and then they find Michonne, and then they're together, and they're all slowly weaving together. Then there's a group of these three guys. There's a huge, tough military guy who is a scientist who they say has the cure to the whole disease, and they need to get him to Washington. And another just hot chick. A lot of these characters. This is one part I wasn't a huge fan of the show. These people didn't have much of a development. But I'll get again to all that stuff. I'm just trying to get an overview. So then eventually they all come back together. They meet a preacher. They meet a preacher, and then that preacher goes a little bit crazy because you learn that he was not letting people into the church, even if they were being attacked by walkers. They don't even say zombie in the show. They say walkers. So that kind of sucks. And then now what we're at is they've kind of spread out a bit. Then there was a group called the then they all went to this place, Come If You Want to Survive. That did not turn out. It turned out they were cannibals, which was not good at all, obviously, as you can tell. So figured out that those guys were not sorry, let me just set something up. So they figured out that those guys were not good. They tried to kill all of them. They're known as the Hunters, and they lived at Terminus. It's a bit different from the comics. If you want to talk about, I'm not talking about the comics, which I have read. So if you want to ask a couple of things about that, but it's the Hunters, and they go to Terminus, and then all this stuff goes crazy, and then there ends up a big battle. Bob dies. Tainted Meat. So hopefully you've all seen the show. That was my bit recap. I know there is a bit of delay. I'll actually check right now how deep it is. But quick, and then I'm going to talk about character deaths. If you have any questions so far on the live stream, just ask me, because I know there's a bit of delay. Ask right now, and I'll talk a bit more, and then when I get a question, I will answer it. Let me see. But it's the Hunters, and they go to turn. Okay, so there's a bit of a delay. I can tell. And ask right now, I'm going to talk a bit about one. Sorry. I'm going to talk about one other thing while it catches up, while you catch up. So don't feel free to cut me off, by the way. Just, speak away. I'm going to just speak. Okay. What were the main the main differences between the comic books and show? At the beginning, it actually stuck pretty faithful to the comics. Very actually similar. Shane dies a lot earlier in the comics. He dies like in the first, what would have been like the first or second episode. But so Shane dies earlier. But a lot of the things are a lot of the things are just different characters. This is going to be, by the way, total spoiler of the comics. But there's an example where what's his name? Tyrese. Tyrese, instead of Dale gets his head chopped off by the governor, it's Tyrese. And it's a lot of things like that. A lot of similar things happen. And when the two sisters, one kills the other and says, I kept her brain alive. That same thing happens, but with two other characters. So it's a lot of the same main things happen, sometimes with other characters. Sorry, I kind of went off track. The first big difference was the FCC. In the TV show, they went to, that huge building with the doctor who's trying to figure out the cure. That never happened in the comics, and that actually got a lot of people. That made a lot of people happy, made a lot of people sad. Another big difference is Dale, who's the coolest character, was not even in the comics at all. He's not at all in the comics. Second, other comics worth reading. They're a bit long, but I haven't read every single one of them. I don't have a subscription. I just bought like the two big compendiums, which is like the first year of writing. 2 years of writing compiled into one. I really think they are worth reading. You don't need to read all of them, and also if you don't want to spoil anything, I wouldn't read too far into them. But they are fun. They're well written. It was good to see. I started reading them after the show came out because I'm not hipster enough to know what the trends are. But I do love the comics. No, I do like the show a bit better. That's just my personal opinion. Yes, Janelle. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, by the way. Yeah, comics are very good. So let me tell you about, actually, if you want to hear a bit, I can tell you about the comics. The comics started in 2003, and it was started by Robert Kirkland, and it's the current people who are working on it. Their names are Charlie, Stefano, Cliff, and Dave. I think they are published by Image Comics and Skybound Entertainment. So the comics are, they do definitely want to do different things between the comic and the TV show, so that the TV show is not spoiled, which I really like. You don't want the TV show spoiled, of course. You know, that's never fun. Does the guy who wrote the comics actually do with the show? Yes, he actually does. He is I think he's one of the producers or the executives, but he's on the set a lot. He's in behind the scenes. He makes sure that they're not doing anything that he doesn't like. I've seen interviews with him. He seems like a really cool guy. He doesn't seem like he'd be like, oh, you're messing with my comics. He seems like a cool guy who wouldn't be messed up by that. But I think he's there to make sure that they do things the way that he wants them, because he is the creator. So of course he has a final say in all of that kind of stuff. So I think, yeah, he does deal with the show. He's not like one of the heads, but he does, you know, he's there. I think he helps come up with ideas for shows. Why do you think everyone loves Daryl so much? Okay, so this is my theory on Daryl. Let me tell you. So the actor who plays and then I'll answer JJ in a second. That's my dad's name, by the way. But anyway, so I think everyone loves Daryl so much. First, it's in a group of people. They all have a lot of character depth. But a lot of them, I'm not going to say simple because they're not in any way simple. But they're not as many of them have swagger. The only one who kind of had swagger was T-Dog. Maybe Dale, who's pretty cool. But with that kind of stuff, he has such a cool demeanor about him. He's Southern, but not the kind of Southern that, you know, is thought of like ugly American. He's like cool. He has a really good weapon, and I think little things are really important to the show, like a weapon. A weapon can define you out of anything. A weapon can be your main trait, and the fact that it's a crossbow, besides a gun, besides a knife, makes him such an elevated character. It shows a lot about him just in that. Okay, does reading the graphic novel count as reading book? As reading? Yes, I actually do think it is. It's not like, you know, your traditional comic book. It's long. It has a lot of character depth. I would definitely say it was. And if you want to read it, JJ, definitely go ahead and read it. Do you think it's because the brother was kind of crazy and had issues with Spidey's? Yes, that's kind of what I was saying. Yeah, his brother was similar to him in the fact that at the beginning, Daryl was kind of a racist, but he definitely grew past that. And it was kind of the contrast of his brother, who, oh, he's similar, but he has this bad. And they're similar, but he has this going for him, for Daryl. And I think there is definitely, I still think he would have been cool without Mo, his brother. So I can't pronounce my R's amazingly well. But we'll get past it. Let me see if I can lower my chair. No, I cannot. But it doesn't need to be. But I think, yeah, it is definitely a good contrast to have Merle as kind of a psychopath and Daryl as a really badass guy. Yeah, T-Dog was really cool. I did like him. I was rewatching the series for a while to make sure I knew. And T-Dog died a lot later than I thought. He dies like late at the prison. Not late, like mid at the prison, which was, he was a really good character. I was kind of sad when he died off. And one second. So basically, the show and the comics are similar, but they don't like to see what's gonna happen next. I definitely wouldn't do that because you don't want to have those connected. You don't want to spoil it, and it's gonna change, and it'll get your hopes down. It'll make you sad. It'll you don't want to watch that, and it's also going to ruin some things, but also it's going to make you think, oh, this is going to happen, even if it actually doesn't. It's none of this really happens the exact same way, so I wouldn't count on it. So first, now I'm going to talk about the deaths. First we have Amy. The first death in the whole show, besides like walkers, is Amy. Amy was was one of the groups of this sister of Andrea. She was the first death. She was bitten in an attack on the group. She was bitten on the neck, and I don't think she was. And then she just died out of blood loss. I don't even I think she died before the fever killed her. Jim was bitten on the chest. He was another one of the groups. He was the one I was telling you about. Was the first one where they saw all the different stages. He was bitten in the chest, and he died from. He was the first one who also saw the infection stage. And then they went to the FCC where Dr. Edwin Jenner, Jackie died, and I think that was it. Those were two characters who died. None of those were very important to the plot. So this is a big one. Sophia, who was the daughter of Carol, she died next. She died while she was wandering through the woods, and then her zombie version was killed by Rick, who shot her in the head, shot her in the face, and then Otis. No, don't. I'm not like a fan of shooting people in the face. By the way, don't think that. Then Otis dies next. He was the son of Dale. Him and Shane were on a mission. Shane had to shoot him in the leg to be used as zombie bait, which was kind of messed up. But he did what he had to do, which is I still think it's a bad decision. Otis was doing everything he can to help him. Shane should have died instead of him. Who died next? Sean Green died. He was shot in the head. T-Dog died. I don't know if he was next. Let me think. Let me see. Who died next? Oh, and then the people in remember the bar died when. So then there's a scene where Dale goes out to a bar to drink because he's like messed up, and then they find him in the bar, and then these two people come in and say, please help us. Not please, they're kind of mean about it, like, bring us to your camp. And then they draw on him, so Rick has to shoot the two of them. Then Dale dies, which is really sad. That was a sad one. He was shot in the head. That was a bad one, He was one of my favorite characters. He died because, and it also sucks, the thing about his death that makes it especially sad is that he died kind of angry. He died mad at the group. He died when the thing is, they were all planning to kill this one kid who didn't really do much. They planned on killing him because they thought he was going to go to his old group and attack and kill them, but in the end he didn't. But they didn't end up killing them. But Dale was the only one who said, we can't kill him. That's murder. You can't do that. That's murder. He's innocent for the most part. Herschel dies later on in the comics. Let me see if there's any more questions. Sorry. Okay. What do you think about the character of Dale being added for the show only? I think this is what I heard. This is just my legend of what I read somewhere. Daryl did a interview for the part. I don't know exactly who he was interviewing for, who he was trying to be, but they thought he was so cool, but he wasn't good for any of the current roles. So they made one up for him because he's just that cool, which I can totally see. I love that actor. He was in Blade 2 as well, which he wasn't very good. I want to see him in more things. He's really cool. And I would totally make a new character for him. Your predictions, do they all die or does anyone make it? And if so, who? My prediction for the end of the show is I have two predictions. Either they find a cure, which I don't think it's going to be. I don't think they're going to find a cure. Or they're all going to go out. It's either going to come down. Okay, I have a couple predictions. It's going to be like just Carl or just Rick or just Daryl left. And there's going to be a horde of zombies and like run in slow motion. And it's going to cut to black. Or it's going to be a lot of them fighting them off and they just get surrounded, engulfed, and they're all dead. So yeah, I think in the end they're all gonna die. I really hope not. That'd be really sad. I love the show and I don't want it to ever end. I want it it can keep going forever, right? In like 20 plus years. It'll no, that's just false hope, I guess. But no, I'm really in love with this show. It's by far my favorite show on television. Some other shows I'm watching are American Horror Story and Bates Motel, but that is for another day. Today we're talking about The Walking Dead, and let's stay on track with The Walking Dead. Okay, what I think is gonna happen in the next season is I think Tyrese might die in the upcoming season. I think Glenn might die. Glenn actually died. If anyone remembers from Terminus, when they had, they were slitting their throats into that bucket in the comic books when they bash their head in, Glenn actually died from that. Which is actually kind of weird. Glenn dies from getting bashed in the head there, and when those images that leaked before the season premiered where they were like that, and everyone thought, oh, he's gonna die there for sure. That's how he dies in the comics, and he didn't. So I hope since now that they've gotten past where he dies in the comic books, now they have a bit more free range for him, and I really hope they don't kill him off. Him and Daryl Dixon are like the two biggest fan favorites. Those are the big fan favorites by far, and I really hope they don't kill either of those two off. Rick, I think, will survive a little longer. I'm guessing if they do keep it on for a much longer time, Carl will kind of assume the role of Rick and be the leader, quote unquote, of the group. But I don't know. It's one of those shows where they can just kill you off at really any time whatsoever. It's the apocalypse. It's not anything like, oh, he's gonna die this way because, I don't know. That's really weirdly explained. I'm sorry, but it's not. It's like a show where literally anything can go wrong at any time whatsoever. Your favorite character can be dead like this, and then all of a sudden it needs to move on. There's no time for that much mourning because it's just gone. It's Lily. I'm gonna say I was kind of glad I died. Does that make me messed up? Louis was kind of annoying. Louis in the comics, which makes me hate her a little bit more than I already do. When she dies, she's holding a baby and she kills her baby. That's really messed up to be laughing at, but it's like makes, even in death she kills her baby. But that's one character's death that I kind of was happy with. Andrea, I was kind of happy with. Andrea, the actress, I like the actress. I think she's pretty good. She's not amazing. She's not terrible. But the character was just such a whiner. I was watching a scene where they're at the farm, Herschel's farm, and Herschel's like, you gotta turn in your weapons. And she goes to change. She's like, are you kidding me? We need to turn in our weapons. And even Shane, who's kind of a psychopath, was like, you need to do that. You can't just not turn in your weapons if they're asking you to do that. You're a guest here. And eventually, she broke apart from the group, which was kind of cool. Michonne is another really cool character. Okay, let me ask you guys a question. What do you think about Dale's relationship with Herschel's daughter? My mind's blanking. One sec, let me look it up. I'm really sorry. What do you think about Beth? Sorry. Okay, Beth. What is it? Is it sexual? Is it plutonic? I don't know. Like, also with him, Dale, and also Carol is also, they have something there. Tell me what you think right in the comments down below. What do you think about that? Why zombies? I think there's a reason we're all drawn to zombies. First, it's one of the oldest tales that you can have. It's in everything. And the thing about zombies is, in no way ever are they gonna have any mercy. They don't have a brain. So I think what draws us to it is, first, you can get a lot of really cool deaths because they're not really alive. But it's the fact that they don't have any souls and that they're just gonna be relentless. They're just, and if you get bitten, you're done. Unless you like cut your leg off. If you get bitten, you're absolutely done. You have no chance of survival. And I think also that, like, biting itself is kind of a weird phenomena, if you may. The fact that it's biting is kind of, it kind of makes you think, instead of, it's not like just shooting you, it's all just biting. Which kind of is messed up. It's really weird. It makes you kind of go crazy. And everyone in this show is going crazy. And I feel like I'm crazy. Sorry, that was kind of weird. Okay, seems like, plausible. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so it's not like vampires. It's not like not zombies. It's not like mummies. It's real because it's not going to, and it couldn't really, but they have science behind it. It's like you just get an infection, and there's part of your brain that's just active and just needs food. So that's part of it. It's kind of realistic. It's not gonna happen, but that little bit of realism is kind of what drives us. Yeah, more than vampires and aliens or devils. So yeah, so that's what I think. I think that's why he chose zombies, and I do like the fresh spin on it. It does, on the surface, it does seem like every other zombie show, and this is what I really hate. When people haven't watched The Walking Dead, they see it and they're like, oh, it's just a dumb show about killing zombies. And they don't understand how much deeper it goes than that. Characters are built in the show so well, and you care about them so much. And that's something that the show did great at. I watched Breaking Bad, and it's just as much as Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad is arguably more serious, but no, I'm not even gonna say that. I like this just as much as Breaking Bad. So yeah, and they can't be killed. It's not like shooting them in any way, but the head is gonna kill them, and they're not just. And you can't reason with them. You can't be like, they just want to eat you. That's it. That's the bottom line of that. What they want to do. They want to eat you. They want to kill you. I actually did a review at my channel, Move Buff channel, product placement right there. No, but you can check that out. I did a review on the first few episodes of the newest season. If you want to go check that out, just type in Movie Buff _space channel, and you can head over there and you can watch it. But yeah, it's something about zombies where it's just so, it gets to you. It gets to your mind. The fact that they're never sleeping. They never get tired. They're not that fast. That's not lying. Well, it was funny. I was watching the earlier seasons. They've gotten so much dumber over this. They're getting so much dumber over as the series progresses. Like in the first season, one of them was like trying to open the door, and like now it's literally nothing. It's just like they don't have any thought process. They just kind of like run around and bump into stuff, and it's a weird thing. It's a great show if you ask me. It's not realistic, but it's more realistic than like Vampire Academy or something, and it has a lot of character depth. Am I running out of time? Instigator team, if you want me to stop, just tell me at any time. I think it's been over 30 minutes, but I wanna. If you want me to talk a bit more, I'm down. I'm definitely down to talk a bit more. So throughout the series, we've seen a lot of stuff happen to these characters, and Rick has changed by far the most. At the beginning, Rick clean shaven. I think this is how you tell you what season you are. The longer their hair gets, the later the season. You watch this season, like Dale's hair is down to there. Herschel had a big beard. Rick has a huge beard. Even Carl has like long hair now. So you could if you just watch any episode, you say, oh, they have pretty long hair. It's whatever season. Yeah, never give up next one. So but you watch the first episode. The Rick who wakes up from the hospital is not the same Rick who bites the neck out of a guy. Then he's changed so much, and he's not an antagonist in any way, but he's made some decisions where even the audience is like, that was a really mean move, a bad move, maybe a good move for the sake of the group, but killing people. And I thought you're not supposed to kill people like that. And he's really messed up now. And I think by the end, he might turn into not an antagonist, but like you kind of don't know whether to root for him or root against him. Not an anti-hero in any means, but you just aren't sure. And I think at that point they might kill him off. Or they might make him have an epiphany, and he turns commit suicide or something. I don't know, but it's whatever it is survive at all costs, no matter what that means. I just want to say this because I just thought about this. I love Tyrese. He's like a big teddy bear. He's my favorite. He's one of my favorite characters. He's so cute. He's got like that little nose. I don't know why. And he's a huge guy. He's a gentle giant. But ask any questions, please. By the way, just comment below whatever you want. Whatever you think that you want to see. Whatever you are gonna see. But anyway, so I'm not done yet. By the way, unless you want me to be done. By the way, by all means, tell me if you want me to be done. And the cast, it's one of the strongest casts I've seen in a show. There's really no big names whatsoever at the beginning of this show. There was no one like, oh my god, he's in this. But they all work their ass off, and it's just great. It's great to see. There's such emotional depth. You really connect to these characters, which I think is really freaking awesome. The way that they develop characters, the way that they change characters, it's one of the best shows on television, and it's coming out. It's starting this Sunday. If you don't already know this, tell me right now below what you think will happen to Morgan, and I'll tell you what I think is going to happen with Morgan. So for those of you who forget, Morgan is the guy from the first season who brings Rick in, and then in either the second or third season, Morgan goes crazy because his son was killed, and he goes a bit crazy. Then Rick has to leave him, and then we just saw Morgan at the end as a just walking around the woods, which I'm really excited to see what they do with him. I think that he's gotten over it. I don't think they're gonna shoot him at you with the same bull crap that they had before. Not that it was bull crap, but I don't think they're gonna do exactly what they did before. I think he's gonna change. I think he's gonna contribute to the group. I really hope they do, because I love him. I want to see him sticking around a bit more. He was not around for nearly enough in the first season, especially with how strong a character and an actor who portrays the character. I believe as the guy forms love. I don't know what that. Sorry, I'm not. Okay. So the show, and the good thing about the show is it has endless possibilities. It can go on however long the people want it to go on. It can end however they want it to be. And since Robert Kirkman is working on the show and the comics, he can choose. The writers aren't only going to be, the TV show doesn't need to be like, oh, it's the comic's gonna like this, we need to end like this. They can talk with him. They can be like, hey, how about you make it end like this? And I don't know if they are gonna do this, but if they want to, they can go completely separate directions. They can end completely differently. They've done a lot of that stuff before. Or I think what might happen is they're gonna release the book on the same day as the finale happens. The final book. That would actually be really cool, because then no one's gonna spoil that stuff. But there's such endless possibilities with this show, which is what I think is just great. Okay, so that's all my time, I think. Thank you all for stopping by. Remember, check out Instacator. It's a great site. Remember to check out Movie Buff channel. Thank you for watching. I will be back next week, same time. I'm sorry, Instigator people, if I wasn't supposed to end this early. I think it was supposed to be half an hour. And I'll be back on the air if I wasn't supposed to be, I promise you. But thank you all for watching so much. It means so much to me. Remember to check out my channel. Remember to check out Instigator. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys later. Peace.